Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm sorry I cannot attend the meeting, so we are going to do it digitally. So the work that I'm going to present to you today is the result of a collaboration between my institution, which is the Crotter Lab in ETH Zurich, and the Forestry department. So that work is about the global tree restoration potential of the planet. So the thing is that if we go back a bit in time, and we look at previous work that help people involved in restoration to do efficient work. I would like to start with a paper that Tom Crotter, my boss, published a couple of years ago, which is the paper where he counted the number of trees on the planet. So thanks to his work, we learned that we have now about 3 trillion trees on the planet. And this helped a lot all the projects around the world working on restoration, because at the time, most of the projects were only aiming to restore about 1 billion trees. And thanks to his estimation, we understood that, if you can look at the slide, that 1 billion is not that much if you compare it to 3 trillion. So we needed to be a bit more effective. And this, thanks to the work of Tom, we basically updated those goals from those NGOs from 1 billion to 1 trillion trees. So this was really helping a lot to go into that direction. But the thing is that what we didn't know is that, is it realistic? Like, can we achieve that on the planet? Can the planet support that amount of trees? Maybe, considering current climate conditions, we have already too much. So if we try to put a frame around what we have, like maybe we are already overshooting the capacity of the planet. But maybe we can do a bit better, or maybe we can do a lot better. So this is why we decided to study the current tree carrying capacity of the planet in order to see what's achievable in terms of restoration. What are the limits? So in order to do that, we decided to use a data set which allows us to characterize the tree cover everywhere in the planet. And this data set is very high spatial resolution images. You can see here on the slide, it's a zoom in Senegal, which is a region which appears to be quite dry, without any tree resources. But if you get access to that very high resolution imagery, you can see those trees appearing on the planet. And those trees are not small. Here in Senegal, we have baobab trees, which contribute a lot to the exchange of carbon with the atmosphere. So we decided to use that data because we needed to build a model which allows us to represent what the planet could carry. We needed to really intercept all the type of trees, all the type of tree covers that we can have in all the biomes of the planet. And the thing is that it was a bit difficult to do it with field data, because field data, often you have that in dense forests, but you don't have that in the middle of the desert. And also, we couldn't use really the original, the satellite data that we use in general, because those satellite data are known to be not to yield really good results in those dry regions. So we used that very high spatial resolution. And so in order to use it, we decided to reproduce an analysis that we already did before in past studies, which was the augmented visual interpretation. So we did not process at all automatically this data. We just photo-interpreted a tree cover all around the globe with a systematic sampling approach. And we did it through collectors. Yeah, just a reminder, Collectors is a product that is an open access software, which is a result of a collaboration between Google and the Forestry department. So we needed to intercept that tree cover everywhere around the globe, and we were willing to understand how this tree cover relates to climate variable and to soil variables. And we needed to build that relationship in regions where we have no human influence, because what we were willing to know is, in any place of the globe, how much tree we can expect to get given the climate condition. So in order to do that, we did this photo interpretation exercise only in the protected areas of the globe. So you can see on the map here, it's only the yellow dots. It's about 70,000 yellow dots that you can find in dry forest, that you can find in temperate forest, in boreal forest, and in tropical forest. Combining the two, so climate data, so precipitation, temperature, edaphic condition, topography. With those tree cover observed in natural condition, we were able to build a model that was predicting tree cover for natural ecosystem. The model yielded quite good results, as you can see here. I will not go on the detail of the stats because the paper is still under embargo until the 5th of July, the 5th of July, sorry. And this is the main result. So once you build a model, you can extrapolate the prediction to the entire surface of the globe. So even in regions where we have today a huge human influence. And you can have this like a bit unrealistic view, but this gives you a reference level of what the planet could support if we were not on the planet. So what you can see on the map is that you have those yellow regions are regions that can support a small quantity of trees, in green, like intermediate level of trees, and in blue, like very dense forest. Without going into the details, this represents about, if we convert those numbers of trees in forest extent, this tells us that we can have about 2 times the extent of forest that we have today on the planet. In order to have a more realistic view of what we can do for restoration, we decided to use that map as a benchmark and to remove from that map the current forest cover, areas with farmlands, and areas which are occupied by humans, so all the urban areas, basically. And this is the result that we can get. So this gives us like an idea of how much more trees we can have in regions where we don't have any competition with farmlands, with urban areas, or where we can put more trees where we have already trees, basically. So you can see that on the map that the restoration effort could be really widespread and could require a universal effort because you can do it in pretty much every places of the world. So once again, I cannot give you like all the details about the result because the publication is coming, but what I can tell you is that if we convert this extra amount of trees that we can reach through restoration, this puts forest as the first solution to fight climate change.